Well, Michael Doyle, welcome. Doyle, as everyone seems to call you in football. Welcome to Woking. It's great to have you here.
Yeah, thanks very much. Delighted to be here. It's a great opportunity for myself and Ben, who's come in with me. It's brilliant to have him on board with me as well. So we've worked together before. So thankful I'm able to bring him in. I think seeing the benefits of having him here already, and I've enjoyed it. Getting amongst the lads right away. It's been brilliant, and it's a great opportunity for myself now for sort of head coach manager's job. So it's a brilliant opportunity.
Brilliant. Yeah. I just want to talk a bit about your career first before we get on to management. So I, I think I've got this right. You've been with 8 clubs, started at Celtic, finished at Notts County playing.
Yep.
866 appearances.
Yeah.
Captain for 15 of those years. 8 of the last 10 years, you've been captain, got into the playoffs of promotion. I mean, it's a good stint as a player, isn't it? You must be proud of that.
Yeah. It was brilliant. I loved my time playing, and what I planned to do with the coach, and I put everything into it. I was very dedicated to what I did. I enjoyed it, and I think that's what made me go into coaching. As I say, you get taste of playoffs and things like that when I was playing, and it becomes a bit of a drug, as they say, a bit of success, and it's what you want to be involved in. So certainly going into coaching, really enjoy the coaching side of football and getting amongst players and sort of man management, getting around players and building relationships with them. So I'd love to be successful as a coach or
Yeah.
manager. I've been very fortunate. I went into Notts County with Ian Nicholson as his assistant. We got to the playoffs a couple of times. We were unfortunate, come up a bit short, but brilliant experiences so early in your sort of coaching career.
And just describe yourself as a player to us. I mean, you were midfield. I mean, firstly, you must have been quite lucky to get all those appearances. You must have been quite lucky with injuries for a
Yeah,
midfielder.
yeah, I'd say lucky, but at the same time, probably what I want to build here, a bit of steel.
Right. Yeah.
I think if you probably ask the lads early, they've probably enjoyed the training, but it's been quite tough for them. And it's the one thing I said when I came in with me and Ben was that we had a discussion before we come in and before we met Ian and that. And the big thing for us was we were going to work hard, we were going to graft and work hard, but we were going to enjoy what we were doing. We want to be a good footballing team, but we certainly want to be a fit team and a strong team and quite resilient. And I'd say that's what I was as a player. I
Yeah.
made a career for myself out of being a hard worker and making the most of every opportunity that I got, and that's what I want to see in the players I'm going to coach.
I picked up an article. You might know what's coming. I don't know, but Jamal Lowe wrote an article talking about playing in the same team as you. Virtually everyone I know who's known anything of you says, and I think you touched on it, you're ultra competitive, you're a winner. He described you as strong, loud, and hard tackling, but always on his case to raise his standards. He even said he was a bit like Roy Keane, but
Yeah.
does that sum
Yeah,
you up?
I know. I got to be honest. As a player and as a coach, I'd say I'm very different, but very demanding. I was as a player. I was very demanding and determined. I wanted to win, and again, going into coaching, nothing similar. Trying to encourage the players, and I want them to express themselves. That's the one thing I've said the last couple of days with what we've tried to do in training is want them to go and express themselves. They all look like they're good players, so
Yeah.
go and express yourselves. But look, of course we want to win, but if we're going to lose, let's go out, playing the way we want to play on the front foot, trying to attack and, being competitive. That's what I said. If we're going to lose, let's lose the right way.
Yeah. So moving into management, did you? I think you've hinted at you were always thinking of going into coaching and management, or for a long time.
Yeah, certainly the coaching. Really enjoyed me, as I say, the coaching and was brilliant. I was down at Portsmouth recently, working in the academy there. It was absolutely brilliant. Very thankful to all the people down there, all the coaches really helped me. From the first team that were there, got a chance to be around them a bit, and they're absolutely brilliant environment. And them the group of coaches that they had there was really opened my eyes to the type of environment you want to create if you're going to be a coach. That was brilliant, and then the academy staff as well, and the players were absolutely brilliant there with me. So very thankful. I'd obviously had a bit of history at the club playing there, so it was brilliant to go back there and to coach and get the opportunity to go back there in a coaching capacity. But regards management, you never know when you're going to go in, whether it's probably anticipated it being a bit maybe a couple of years down the line. So I've been coaching 3 or 4 years, but it's been great and really enjoying it. Looking forward to it. Everything's an opportunity.
And I imagine. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's an adjustment, isn't it? Going from playing, I suppose, in a sense, you're in control. You're in control of your own performance, but you can also be on the pitch making a difference. When you're a manager, you're sort of on the touchline. So
Yeah.
is that an adjustment to
Look,
make?
I'm used to it now from being an assistant sort of coach. You work with the players all week, but Saturday's what you're judged on. It's as simple as that. As a player and a coach, I'm judging the players on a Saturday. Obviously, in the training in the week, you're judging them, but it's the same for a coach. You're sort of judged on a Saturday, so it's certainly different. Once it comes to 3 o'clock on a Saturday, it's out of my hands. But all you can do is try and encourage the players and try and have them as well prepared as possible.
In terms of management, it looks a very strong management team, and people we already know. We've got Ian Doyle, who's been here for a number of years, Scott Cuthbert, who's been a great player for us, just moving into a bit of coaching, and Marlon Beresford, who's a very experienced goalkeeper as goalkeeper coach. The person we don't really know much about is Ben Turner. So tell us a bit about Ben and what he brings, and why you work so closely together.
Well, basically, when I was at Coventry as a player, I was kind of a few years older than Ben, but Ben had broke through the academy, so I kind of had a relationship with him from a young lad, and it only feels like yesterday when he made his debut, and I was playing. We actually played Man United away at Old Trafford, and he made his debut, and we won 2-0, and it was a brilliant night, League Cup game. So I've always had a good relationship with Ben, but like in playing, when you kind of go your separate ways, you kind of lose touch. But we got back. I was at Notts County, and Ben came to Notts County, and we built up like a strong relationship again. We'd always sort of seen each other, and pleasant, great to see each other, but kind of built up a strong relationship again. And I went into the coaching. Ben went part-time playing, then he took over as a coach at Ilkeston and did really well, made a big impact there. When he took over as a coach, he was an assistant coach, and they were struggling. He made a big impact there when he came in. So then when we went to Forest Green as coach, we were looking for another coach, and Ian had kind of mentioned Ben, and we got him down, and he came down. He was absolutely brilliant around the players, good coach, knows what, as a sort of role there, what we want him to do, and he's very diligent, he's on top of it. And as I say, I think he'll be brilliant around what we've already got. I think he's really added to the group already, and I think the players are enjoying working with him as well, which is the main thing. They like what he's doing.
Yeah.
Again, as a coach, he's very similar to myself. He had a great career, and he knows what he wants from people. Again, we've very much the same, as both of us think the same and want the same things, what we want to see in a team that represents us.
Brilliant. That's brilliant. And what did you know about Woking before applying, getting the job? What have you learned about the club since? I mean, what was it about Woking that was attractive?
Well, obviously last year they had a fantastic season, being around the playoffs, and I'd played here a few times as a player and coached, and it was always a good place to come and play. But they're always near enough up around top end of the table since they've come up to conference and kind of fell away. So there's definitely a club that wants to kick on and do better than they are at the minute, and I think they've shown that over the last number of years. So I think it's a brilliant opportunity for anybody to get the job here. One, it's a great club, and two, I think it's a brilliant opportunity to try and get in the Football League eventually, hopefully.
And in terms of playing style, I mean, do you have a preferred formation and style, or is it horses for courses for games? Or?
Yeah, of course I have a formation I'd like to play and things like that, but sometimes you've got to walk to the players that you have. So obviously it's coming up into a big month in January. I'm not saying there's going to be loads of changes and loads of new faces in, but we're certainly walking and looking to try and be flexible. The lads have played a certain way for the last year and this year, and little tweaks at the minute, nothing major, and it takes time, but hopefully over time people will see what we want to do and how we're going to do it. But I think it's important we start getting results and climbing up the table, which make changing things maybe a lot more easier, whereas when you're down at the minute, too much change, you start confusing people, and it's not going our way. So it's important, I think, that we get ahead of steam and try and get some results and start climbing up the table.
And you probably hinted at that, but in terms of coming in, what would you say your main priorities are just over the next few weeks? What will you be focusing on?
Just certainly since the minute I've come in, it's just focusing on telling the lads what I'm about, what I want, what I expect, and how we're going to do it. And we've had 2 days now on the training pitch. I think the lads, as I say, have enjoyed it, but they've worked hard, and I don't know if it's different. I haven't really asked what they've done before, just what I want to do, and as I say, we keep building on what we're doing. I think we'll be on the right track. But as I say again, it's about Saturdays at 3 o'clock. It's the most important thing, you know.
Yeah, yeah, and obviously, I suppose at any level, but I mean, recruitment is key, and you know, at the moment, who knows? But in the long term, how do you think recruitment will work in not in the immediate, but you know, in terms of strengthening and improving?
Yeah, it's something we're sort of looking at now at the minute, because obviously we've come in January's just it's a few days away, and you know we've people that are there. We've a big squad at the minute. Everybody's sort of available, bar 2 players. So we've a big squad, so we've got to assess things quick and make quick decisions. If we want to try and bring some people in as well, you know, I don't think it'll be massive changes, if I'm honest with you, but unfortunately for us, we got to make some quick decisions, you know, and everybody's training really hard. And I kind of said that to the players today is, you know, don't judge myself and probably Ben, you know, we're the new ones in on sort of 3 training sessions where you just train, everybody's training great, and think if you're not in that first squad or 2 that you're wrote off, because it's not the case. We're having to make decisions pretty quick, you know, and last week the lads went and put in a good performance at Dorking, you know, so it's certainly changed things a little bit.
Yeah, I suppose all of us, I suppose, have seen players who you think, oh, they're not featuring, and then suddenly they hit a golden spell, don't they? And
yeah,
it can change very quickly, can't it?
Yeah, of course. As I say, being a player myself, and a new manager comes in, it's an opportunity for everybody, because sometimes it's players feel they're wrote off from previous managers or regime. So when someone new comes in fresh, you want to impress and make an impression. And so far, to be fair, everybody's sort of doing that. So it's and in this league, you're only allowed 5 subs, so it does, you know, makes the selection a lot harder.
Yeah, 5 subs, and the games are 10 minutes longer now, aren't they?
Yeah,
So it's
yeah, exactly. But it is never easy at this level, you know. It's but hopefully down the road, it's you can get the 7 subs. It'd be great.
Yeah. And you mentioned a little bit in the stuff when you're appointed about the community. I mean, what? And again, I'm sure that's not the focus now, I'm sure, but in terms of the club being involved in the community, maybe the players and things, what might that look like for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important. I've always, again, with the clubs I've played for, we've always been quite big in the community with Coventry and Portsmouth and things like that, and it makes a massive difference going out to schools and hospitals at Christmas and things like that. Just, you know, I think it's important, and especially for the football club to keep growing and growing the fan base as well. I think the more you do in the community, and that people will be engaged towards coming back to the club, and I think it's important we put down, you know, a lot strong. I don't know what the roots are like, but building strong roots that people, this is their local football club, and they support first and foremost, you know.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you. Now I'm sure probably all you're thinking about is Maidenhead on Saturday, but Christmas is looming, and just off football. But Christmas is always strange for footballers, isn't it? But what will Christmas Day look like for your family?
Yeah. Again, just it's the same as everybody else, really. You know, again in football, you're probably a lot. You can tell on the roads and things at the minute. A lot of people are finished up and enjoying their Christmas holidays already. And you know, as footballers, we go right through. But we'll still do a little bit on Christmas Day. The lads will at home and things like that. But we've had a chat to them today about, you know, just being as professional as possible, doing it right, and kind of demanding from each other in the group, making sure it shouldn't come from me and Ian and Ben and people like that. It comes from the group, you know. I think it means more as players, but you know, certainly for me with young kids and young family, you know, Christmas is a big thing in our house. I always loved Christmas growing up. Even when I played, I loved Christmas, and it was always something, you know, great time of year. Even for the football, it's absolutely brilliant. I think football and Christmas come hand in hand in Boxing Day games and things like that. It's there's probably no other place like it than in England, the way they play through and all the games are. It's brilliant. You get big crowds, and obviously with the games we have as well over the Christmas period, it's absolutely, it's brilliant. The fixtures you want, big crowds, local derbies, and absolutely perfect. So I'll enjoy my Christmas and my dinner and that, but certainly one eye will be looking towards Boxing Day as well.
Boxing Day, New Year's Day down here obviously will be bouncing, but that's for the future. Just finally, Saturday, Maidenhead. What's the thoughts on that game?
Yeah, looking forward to it. I can't wait, especially with the first game being here and the lads getting a bit of a bounce last week after the disappointment and down in Western Supermare. They put in a good performance down at Dorking. Coming here now on Saturday, playing at home against Maidenhead, my first game, and probably one of the form teams in the league at the minute.
Yeah,
Maidenhead, I think they've won 4 out of the last 6 and drawn 2. So it's always a tough game at Maidenhead. Really good side, good individuals that can really hurt you. So it's important we sort of focus on ourselves, but we respect them as well, and we're ready for the challenge that's ahead.
Brilliant. Well, thanks, Michael. It's great to meet you, and I'm sure there'll be a really good crowd here on Saturday, and everyone will be behind you. Everyone will be behind the boys, and it's a new era, and we can't wait for it to get started.
Yeah,
great to meet you.
Thanks very much. Looking forward to. Thank you.
Cheers.